Hello everyone, welcome to What If Issei Was Betrayed by Girls and Became Trihexa's Servant movie. This is the translated version I made. There will be some mistake in character's gender, but of course Issei is a male. At the end of the war against the Trihexa, Issei sees how each girl in his harem leaves him for a boy. Feeling so alone, he tells Draig to remove all his feelings. At that moment, everything would change. Prologo. There were the faction leaders, Grand Red and Ophis, defeated by the beast of the end Trihexa. Vala was falling with giving the last blow with all his strength, resulting in a failure, and Draig had given all the power to Issei by giving everything. He fell asleep, and we see Issei without more strength in front of the beast of the end Trihexa as if nothing. Trihexa, I must admit it was a very entertaining fight, but it's time to put an end to it all. Issei, wait, there's nothing that can make you change your mind. I'll do whatever it takes for everyone to live. Issei with desperation and fear. Trihexa, there is one, but you are willing to do anything for it. Issei, yes, without hesitation he said it. Trihexa, it's okay, I want you to be my butler. I'll let myself be sealed, but the way to free me is when the time is, you'll come for me. A spell appears on Issei. Issei was about to faint. Post-8, to free me, you'll have to get rid of your emotions. Ask Draig to help you with that. When the time comes, he'll come out and I'll be free. Goodbye, Draig's bearer. Before Issei fainted, he could only see how Trihexa disappeared and a girl with black hair and blue eyes appeared, a very beautiful figure. Issei had already spent 6 months. In those 6 months, Issei had been in a coma for 2 months at most for using all the power and being left without a drop of power. The faction leaders knew what they had celebrated in those months. Vala only knew that it was nonsense, that he himself knew he had not defeated Trihexa. But when he woke up he saw Trihexa sealed and thought it was Issei. They took him to a hospital, but after 1 week the faction leaders, with Grand Red and Ophis, had left. They had a big party that lasted 3 months. In that time Issei had woken up. Issei, the faction leaders, Ophis and Grand Red asked him how he had sealed it, but Issei just said he did not know, and that the party continued. Issei's girls in those 3 months had made some demons, angels, fallen angels. They spent more time than with Issei, but they only told him they were busy. But over time they saw the girls fell in love with boys, and as time passed, the girls had passed, and they didn't even stay with the brown-haired boy. After another 3 months, the girls didn't even have a second. Rias and Akeno were in college and their boyfriends, and Asia with the occult club and her boyfriend, Zenobia as student council president, and Irina helping Zenobia and Kaneko with her studies. Like Ravel, Rosswise went to Asgard to be a very strong Valkyrie and spend more time with her boyfriend from Asgard. Each girl spent more time than they left Issei for their boyfriends and the others in love with Issei. The same thing happened, but as it happened with everyone, Kiba was focused on his studies, that he didn't have time for anyone, and Gasper, to be braver and more manly, joined the soccer club. In that time, Issei stopped spying on the girls and started studying, becoming the best student in school, and many boys and girls looked at him with admiration and respect, called the second prince of the school. He had many invitations from many girls, but he only had eyes for his girls. Issei, Draig, are you awake? Draig, yeah buddy, what's up? Issei, haven't you noticed the girls? Sad tone. Draig, now that you mention it, yes, but it must be because they're busy, mate. Issei, you're right. Besides, tomorrow they'll all be there. I'm going to surprise them with some gifts. He took some boxes out of his sleeve, opened them, and saw some engagement rings inside. Draig, good luck, mate, thought Draig. I have a bad feeling. Chapter 1. Fulfilling the Promise to Trihexa and Revelations. The next day we can see Issei going about his normal day. As it happened now, he woke up from his house. He went to school with his uniform on well and a haircut that stood out more, and he looked very handsome according to some girls from his school. The day went by as always. Post-8, the girls like Irina, Zenobia and Asia are in different classrooms where their boyfriends were. This is how Issei will look, but with brown eyes. At night there would be an event where all factions would celebrate the Trihexa defeat. Issei thought about giving the ring to each of his girls since they were all there, and also saying how he defeated Trihexa to make her sad, seeing what he had to do, and say goodbye to keep his promise to Trihexa, because that same night was the day that Trihexa had chosen to be free according to a message that had the date and time. He had already arrived, but before entering he heard a voice saying, "Wait." "Issei, who are you?" Alert to any threat. "How do you remember my servant?" "Issei, Trihexa, where are you?" "Trihexa, calm down, I'm only talking to you through the key I put on you." "Issei, what do you want?" Angry. "Trihexa, calm down, I just wanted to show you something as a gift from me to my servant." Suddenly, an Issei sphere appears. "Issei, what did you do?" Angry. "Trihexa, nothing, I'm just going to show you something I've been watching while I'm trapped, with a smile of the last thing I'm trapped." Issei looked at each girl in his harem in these 4 months with boys and saw each girl kissing her boyfriend and said, "Issei, what is this?" "Trihexa, well, what do you think of your girls when you see how they cheat on you with other guys?" "Issei, that can't be screaming." "Trihexa, you don't believe me? Look at the room for yourself." "Issei, let's see how every girl who said she loved him was kissing other boys." "Trihexa, I told you once, and it was a nice gift, don't you think?" "Issei, how can he make a good gift crying, sad and angry?" "Trihexa, how do you see that I freed you from all the pain? You don't think you could have found out in a worse way? What do you think, Draig?" Draig had remained silent all this time, having no words when he saw what happened. "Draig, I am sorry, mate, you didn't deserve this." "Issei, thanks, Draig, you're a great friend." "Draig, you're welcome, mate, better to say Issei." "Trihexa, enough talk, but it's time to meet Issei Hayadu." "Draig, what a promise, Issei." "Issei, before we were all destroyed and everything, I made a deal with Trihexa." "Draig, what is that promise? Curious to hear." Issei sighs and says, "The promise is that I must serve Trihexa and free him so that he doesn't destroy anything or anyone." Draig, that's scared and surprised. "Trihexa, well, the time has come, do it." "Draig, don't do it, Issei." "Trihexa, do it now." Issei sighs. "Draig, do the dragon fall ritual." "Draig, what, he won't do it." "Issei, please do it, friend, or else everything will be destroyed." Draig resigned, says, "Okay, friend, but it will hurt a lot." Issei, "It doesn't matter as long as I only save my friends and my family." Draig began the ritual. "Draig, by the way, Issei, the ritual will last 1 hour, but it will hurt more than Samo's poison." Issei, "Okay, sad." At that time the leaders had celebrated until they felt the power of Issei outside. Azazel, what's happening to Issei for him to be losing so much? Thinking about what happened? Miguel, where is Issei-kun? Miguel thought. Odin, Surzex, do you know where Issei is? I haven't seen him for months. Surzex must be with my sister and her entourage, but he was surprised to see his sister come with a boy who was not Issei, and likewise his otherly bears. Rias, brother, I want to cancel the engagement with Issei, just like the other girls. Surzex, what have you done, sister? You know you just killed Issei, just like the other girls. Rias, that can't be. Odin, girl, you know that dragons are masses of energy. Having so much power can kill them with a disease called Dragafall and they die. Everyone was shocked to learn that Issei would die, and it was the fault of every girl in his harem. Rias crying, but there must be a way to save him, I will. Surzex, you would be enough if you truly loved Issei, you wouldn't be with that boy like the others. Suddenly the power of Issei was felt in the forest as he fell rapidly. All Issei. Chapter 2, End of Emotions and Trihexa Release. Meanwhile in the forest almost 45 minutes had passed where Issei had experienced something worse than death. Samo's poison would be as if nothing compared to what Issei was experiencing at this moment. Issei with all his efforts endured the other 15 minutes, but he was almost dead. But before that an orb of energy came out healing Issei's wounds and seeing Issei changes, not very noticeable, only changes where you could see an Issei with a more mature and lifeless look but with a lifeless smile. Issei was on his knees, emotionless, only a neutral look remained. He was not happy, sad or any other emotions, just nothing. Seeing the pawns in front of him, he grabs one and says, "How is it possible that I'm not dead if when I extract my pawn pieces I should die?" Trihexa, that's simple. I transformed you into my servant. I also gave you a part of my power and flesh like the great Red and Ophis did. You could say that now you are a complete dragon with the potential to surpass me. Draig, wow, mate, that's the most surprising thing I've heard. a carrier that can surpass Trihexa. Issei, if I could say that. Trihexa continues. Trihexa, I'll set up a portal for you to enter where I am, and I'll train you for a year where we are, where outside it will only be 3 hours. Issei, okay, a portal opened to where Issei is, but before he enters several magic circles come out. Surzek, surprised to see Issei changed and see his lifeless look emotions. Rias, Issei. Asia, Akeno, Zenobia, Kaneko, Irina, Revel, Issei/Issei-kun /Issei-senpai. Issei, hello girls, faction leaders, and friends. Odin, what happened to you, boy? Issei, let's say I change, and if you excuse me I have to go. Surzek, the dandies Vasa ir Issei. Issei with Trihexa to free him. Everyone was in shock. Rias, what, you can't do that, Issei. Asia, Issei, if you release it you will destroy everything. Akeno, if you think about it. Issei, I'm sorry but I have to do it, I promised my master. Odin, I love, like I love. Issei, 6 months ago, when we were all defeated, including me, I made a deal with Trihexa. Miguel, what deal was that? Issei, free him, be his servant, and no one would be hurt. Surzek, but how come you don't feel angry, Issei? Issei, part of the deal was to leave everything, and that includes my emotions and respective. Issei, the ritual of the fall of the dragon. Rias, what is that? Azazel is a ritual to get rid of emotions, but no one has used it. As far as I know, no dragon has taken that option. Rias, that can't be. Tell me, Issei, that what they say isn't true. Issei, I'm sorry, Rias, Gremory and girls, but it's true. By the way, take handing over a bag where the pawns and some boxes were. Rias, what is this? Surprised and shocked. Issei, they are my pawns, the rings I was going to give you to get engaged to you girls and then say goodbye. Everyone was shocked to know what was going to happen, but it didn't happen. Issei, if you'll excuse me, I have to go serve my mistress. Odin loves like. Issei, let's say Trihexa is a woman, he told me before she was sealed. Everyone was shocked to learn that Trihexa was sealed and that she was also a woman. Surzek, who sealed herself. Issei, as I said before, she sealed herself a little before she fainted. Shiva, we won't let you point at Issei. Issei, they can't do anything, the seal was already broken. At the moment I performed the ritual of the fall of the dragon, the seal of God was completely broken and only the one she placed remains. And even if they stopped me, nothing would change. I would be free, but with a higher price, the destruction of all the factions and everyone, and nothing would remain. Shiva, like a higher price. Issei, according to what he told me, if I didn't keep the deal I would still be free, but this time I would destroy everything without a trace, something from all the factions. Everyone was shocked to learn what Issei did to save them. Issei, I can leave now. Rias, forgive me, Issei. Issei, the past is in the past. Look forward and find someone who loves you very much, said Issei. Issei disappearing in such a way, leaving everyone frustrated and the girls broken upon learning that the only boy who loved them so much is gone forever. Chapter 3: Training in True Trihexa Form. Issei had entered and appeared in front of Trihexa in a different form, a beautiful woman with black hair, blue eyes and beauty that equaled or surpassed Gabriel. Issei, my lady Trihexa, I'm here. She wants me to open the seal and obey her orders, my mistress. Trihexa, no, we still have to train your powers. I'll train you here for a year and then we'll return to the world. A year will pass here and you'll be gone for only 3 hours. What happened in his first 3 months? He spent training his control of his power. In another 3 months he learned spells and how to serve Trihexa, education, manners and everything he wants to do. In another 3 months he learned the use of all weapons and hand-to-hand combat. In the last 3 months he learned to combine all his powers and get to fight Trihexa, not to stop but to fight her. Issei, it was time to leave, my lady. Trihexa, yes, but I don't like being called Trihexa, and we've known each other for a while. Call me Isabella. Issei, Isabella-sama, it is time to free her and take her to her new home. Issei opened the dimension and upon exiting he met all the free factions, gods, Great Red, Ophis, Rias and her entourage, Sona and her entourage, Serog, Bale and Vala's team. Issei, could it be known why the faction leaders, gods, the Great Network, Ophis, and the new generation of demons came? Shiva, we have come to defeat Trihexa. Issei, I'm sorry, but I can't allow my master to be hurt. Azazel, understand Issei. If we don't defeat her now, she will destroy everything. Sirzex, yes, please, Issei, step aside to find Trihexa and kill her. Odin, by the way, where is Trihexa and who is accompanying you? Issei, first, I will not let them hurt my mistress, and if they try, I am ready to fight. Second, Trihexa is by my side. I present to you my mistress, known by the name Trihexa or Isabella-sama. Isabella, calm down, my lovely servant, giving you a kiss on the lips. The ex-harem girls were burning with rage and jealousy upon learning what she had done, and wanted to kill her. Isabella, as my servant told you, I will do nothing while he is by my side and no one does anything, and if they want war, they will have war not only against me but also with my servant. Suddenly they felt a tremendous power, but they didn't know where it came from until they saw Issei as a power almost equivalent to Trihexa or Isabella. Issei charged Isabella bridal style and said, anyone who tries to challenge my mistress, I will protect her if it means destroying all the factions and gods. Issei, if you'll excuse me, I'll leave. I have to take my mistress to her new home. Sirzex, where are they going to go? He said fearfully. Issei, my master wants to live a life as a human and will stay in my house, and by the way, I want her things out, Rias, Gremory, and her entourage. Shiva jumped to attack Trihexa, but before he could do anything he was stopped by a punch from Issei that sent him flying into a wall. Sirzex, why did you do it, Issei? Issei, I am just doing what I said to protect and serve my mistress. If you'll excuse me, I'll leave. Tell her I won't be merciful next time. Walking in a circle. Seeing the crater, Shiva looked very hurt. Odin, it is better not to provoke his anger. Everyone nodded. Shiva, what the hell is that guy? He hit me with just one blow and almost left me dead. If I hadn't protected myself. They all had powerful enemies, but they wouldn't do anything if nothing happened. Chapter 4 School. They had already arrived at the chestnut house that he made while he was in the dimension and placed it on the hill. It looked like a castle of a rich French family, and he had also modified every memory of each citizen, such as how they built the castle and the move of the neighbors. Issei, if my mistress Isabella excuses me, I'm going to enroll her at Ko's school, tell Sona Citri and put her in my class. Isabella, because I have to go, Issei. Issei, I remind you that I haven't finished my studies yet and I would like to finish them, and also that I don't want to leave you alone, my lady, and have you attacked or caused problems. Isabella, who do you think you're talking to a girl for? Issei, no, my lady, but I know enough this year that I know for sure the things that could happen, and you have many enemies, and those enemies you told me about are coming, with the same power as you or more, and I must always be alert, and it would be easier if I had you closer. My mistress, she serves you some tea and cookies. Isabella, I must say you're right with a pout. Issei sighs, if he behaves, I'll make his favorite dessert for him tomorrow. Isabella with a twinkle, okay, smiling at her delicacy. Issei, if you excuse me, I'll leave. Bendra in an hour, if you excuse me. Isabella, okay. Issei was leaving in a magic circle with the sign of 666. Sona was thinking about what happened tonight. Sajibucho, what does he think? And Momo Sona-sama. Tsubaki Shinrasu Hermano Sona-sama. Sona, where is she hiding from her overly affectionate sister? Tsubaki, ha ha ha. Sona, that wasn't funny, Tsubaki. Suddenly a fight broke out and the rest of the nobility laughed at their king and queen. They were fighting, but suddenly a circle appeared that no one knew. Sona and her entourage were on alert but were surprised to see who appeared from the circle. It was none other than Issei, who a few hours ago had demonstrated the release of Trihexa or Isabella and its incredible power. Issei, good evening, Sona Citri-sama and her Tsubaki Shinra-sama, and so on, with each of Sona's nobility bowing like a good butler and showing his respect. Sona and her entourage, good night, Issei Haidokun. Issei, Miss Sona, I wanted to ask you to write to Isabella at Ko's school and also put her in my class. Sona, I will do it for one reason only, you answer a few questions. Issei, okay, Miss Sona, could you tell me your questions? Sona, how is it that you have so much power, like Trihexa is a woman, and what does Isabella-sama want to do? Issei, how did I get so much power? It's simple. Train with Isabella-sama, and in addition to giving me a little of her power that I can control, and part of my body that converted like Gran Red and Ophis did, and be able to control the power of Gran Red and Ophis as well. Issei, with respect, she has always been a woman and wants to do nothing. As long as I am by her side, everything will be fine. It would be all Miss Sona. Sona, one more thing, it's true that you don't feel anything anymore, sad. Issei, yes, I'm sorry, but I don't feel anything anymore. After doing the ritual, apart from Isabella helping him with it, I don't feel anything anymore. Love, sadness, anguish, etc. Each feeling was erased forever. He said it as if it were nothing. Sona, I see Sona is sad, just like her entourage. Issei, if you'll excuse me, I'll be leaving. It was a pleasure to answer your questions and to carry out my task, and also to your entourage. He was leaving the entourage. Dream things you've done. Chapter 5. A typical day at Kwahai School. Issei had appeared in an alley. Suddenly he was walking to go buy groceries for the week. When he finished, he paid for everything and remembered that he promised Isabella-sama a dessert. He bought the ingredients and went to an alley. He made a magic circle to appear in the house. When he arrived, he could see Isabella-sama asleep. He didn't bother to wake her up. He prepared himself. Approximately 1 hour passed, and he had already finished cooking. He went to the living room. Issei, Isabella-sama, the food is ready. Isabella. Issei, Isabella-sama. Isabella, take me to the table, Issei. Issei, okay lady, by the way, tomorrow we are going to school. Everything is ready for me to go to school, and it is in my same grade and classroom. Isabella, as efficient as ever, by the way, what's for dinner? Issei, it would be a quesadilla with ham, along with 3 hotkeys with honey, melted chocolate and milk, and a delicious chocolate with marshmallows. Isabella, she had little stars in her eyes when she saw her dinner, but when she saw hotkeys that she liked a lot, Isabella said thank you for the food. Issei, enjoy your dinner. The brown-haired boy ate the same thing as his mistress, but instead of chocolate he had coffee. Issei, by the way, I bought him his iron uniform and bought him 3 outfits so that tomorrow after leaving we can go get him more outfits and things for the house, and at night we can talk to the freemen of the factions and gods about those enemies so that they can prepare themselves. Isabella, very well. By the way, although you already have power almost on par with me, you have to learn to master my power more, and in order to surpass me, my cute servant Isabella grabs a piece of hotkeys to then give it to her servant Issei d'AAA. Issei, Isabella-sama, I can't eat like this, it's a little embarrassing, blushing. Isabella, no matter what I eat, it's beautiful, smiley face. Issei agreed to be fed by his mistress. Issei grabbed a piece of his hotkeys to give it to his mistress, my lady AAA. Isabella, Issei, what are you doing, blushing? Issei, Isabella-sama gave me, it is mandatory that I also give him my hotkeys, Isabella-sama AAA. Isabella, blushing, says A eats her hotkeys, happy that her servant thanks Issei-kun. Issei, you're welcome, Isabella-sama, with a small smile and a blush. Isabella thought has already begun to recover her feelings. They finished eating, washed the dishes, Issei prepared their lunches for school, while his lady Isabella bathed, after going to bathe. When they finished, they brushed their teeth and went to their mistress's room. After combing his lady's hair, he retired to his room. The next day we can see an Issei waking up, going out to exercise. He went to clean the house, take a bath and prepare a small snack of a plate of confetti and a juice. He went to the room to wake her up so she could get ready for school while he prepares his things in his backpack and hers. After finishing breakfast they headed to school, attracting attention when a Rolls-Royce Phantom arrived. Upon arriving at the parking lot, everyone saw a young man with brown hair who, upon seeing the girls, was dazzled by the young man and the boys, jealous of getting the girls' attention. The young man went to the other side to open the back of the passengers. The boys were amazed to see such a beautiful girl who passed all the girls at school with beauty, and the girls are jealous that she arrived with the brown-haired boy. Isabella, don't you think we attract much attention? Issei, it wouldn't be strange, miss, you are very beautiful, it wouldn't be strange at all. Isabella, blushing, what things Issei says? Issei, if you excuse me, Could I take you to the director so he can introduce himself and escort you? Isabella smiling and happy yes, smiley face. The others saw this with jealousy and surprise. Girl X1 just said Issei-kun. Girl X2 that pervert. Boy X1 why do you call Issei-senpai perverted? Girl X3 before he was a pervert now he is an Issei-senpai what admiration. Boy X2 yes he is a senpai that I admire. Girl X1 who will be her companion? Girl X4 will be his girlfriend. Boy X1 senpai I envy you. Girl X2 I must say that Issei has changed and is very handsome. Chica X4 yes Ivan. Everyone was surprised to see Issei with respect and as someone to admire and continue to be like him. Talk. Director pass. Issei and Isabella if you'll excuse me passing. Director it was a pleasure to see Issei and his partner's name. Issei it's also a pleasure to see you again, Mr. Director. My companion is the new student who is going to enter my class, according to what Sona Citri-sama told you. Isabella Edwards I come from Italy. Director, yes, you told me and everything is done. Besides, the teacher already knows. You can leave now. By the way, I welcome you to Quiz School and have a pleasant stay on campus. Isabella, yes, I hope so, and thank you for the welcome, Mr. Director. Issei if you excuse us, we'll retire to our classroom, Mr. Director he leaves with Isabella. In class everyone was talking about the new arrivals and more than one was his classmate Issei-senpai. Teacher silence class today we are going to have a new student. Issei professor, if you'll excuse me, I'm just arriving. Young teacher Issei. Issei passed by and all his classmates had hearts when they saw their partner, and the boys envy and respect their senpai. Professor as I said, please introduce yourself, miss. A very beautiful girl passes by. Upon entering, all the men were stunned to see the young woman and the girls were surprised to see her beauty that surpassed them, but then they saw her as a senpai of admiration. Isabella nice to meet you. My name is Isabella Edwards. All the kids went crazy but the teacher calmed them down. Teacher if you have questions about your classmates. Marco where Isabella senpai from? Isabella I am from Italy. Rin why did you move here, Isabella-san? Isabella because of my parents' work. Amelia what relationship does she have with Issei-senpai? Isabella she is my butler that my family hired since my parents don't travel much. Professor enough there, continue with the class. The hours passed until the break. Amelia, could you tell us more about the Issei-senpai relationship? Isabella her family for generations has served my family as servants, even her grandfather, but as her father was the exception since he wanted to change, but as Issei-kun, he always admired his grandfather a lot, but about 6 months ago he died. When he died, we called his parents and Issei and we told him a few days later if he still wanted to follow in his grandfather's footsteps and he said yes but he still wanted to finish his studies and we agreed to move, but Dad wanted to have a house, and you know, if you'll excuse me, I'm leaving. Issei is waiting for me he gets up and goes to Issei. Everyone was surprised to learn of the changes, knowing about Issei and his family and more. Everything continued normally until the exit and until they arrived at a store to look for Isabella. While Issei takes out his cell phone, he calls someone. In Sona and Tsubaki's apartment, Sona looks at her cell phone to receive a call. Sona hello who is it? Issei I am Issei Hayadu. I wanted to ask if I could tell you something, Sirviente-sama. Sona what would the message be? Issei my master told me that she wanted to speak with the faction leaders and gods to make an alliance. She is surprised that. Issei as I heard Miss Sona, my teacher wants to make an alliance and other matters. That's a beautiful child. Issei I hope for more information about what day it will be and if it were sooner, better goodbye. Sona what goddess Isabella was planning thinking. They had finished shopping for Isabella's outfits and the household items were already in the house. They were eating lasagna and in the center, a flan with cake. Isabella thanks Issei for the clothes and food. Issei it is always a pleasure to serve you, my mistress Isabella. Issei by the way, I already spoke for the alliance meeting for the problem of that enemy, my love. Isabella well done Issei, as you are soon to train for that enemy. Chapter 6: Preparations for the Meeting and the Past. Meanwhile, in the underworld, we see Sirzex thinking so much had happened in little when he found out that Issei was blatantly cheated on by his sister, and the girls who claimed to love him made Mao feel bad. Sirzex sad and crying, "I am sorry, Issei." Sirzex had always loved the brown-haired boy like a brother, and knowing what he did for it, and everything, he could not help but cry, seeing what he had become, a person who would not hesitate to fulfill the duty of his mistress Trihexa, and he did not want to fight with him unless he had to do it. He got up from his desk, went to a bar that his office had, and began to drink hard for a while, remembering his brother, and they wonder where Grafia is because she is comforting Milikas when she found out what her hero did for everyone. She looked bad and Grafia took care of him, but Grafia too. Issei had spoken to Grafia and considered her like Sirzex, like a sister, and seeing what had become, a guy would not hesitate to kill her or whoever for Trihexa and more. When he found out that she had lost, and what she did so that everyone could live, it hurt him, and more than knowing that her sister-in-law cheated, and along with many girls who said they loved him, he felt hatred and contempt. Meanwhile, at the entrance of the Mao castle, we see Sona Citri arrive in a magic circle. Guard seeing the circle, he became alert to a threat, but upon seeing the Citri sign, he relaxed and showed respect. Seeing who was present, appeared in the magic circle. "Very good to see Miss Sona." "Sona, it's good to see you again, Lucas-sama." "Lucas, no, it's my pleasure, since your visit is due, Miss Sona." "Sona, I'm coming to see Sirzex about a matter of utmost importance." "Lucas, yes, miss, I'm going to tell Master Sirzex. I'll be right back to escort you." "Sona Issei." Lucas went to Mouse Sirzex's office and played. Talk, talk, talk. Surgery pass. "Lucas, my lord, Miss Sona Citri is looking for you about an important matter." He was surprised to see his master drinking. It wasn't something to drink in case he was sad about something, and he knew why. Everything that had happened with the chestnut tree wasn't easy to process, especially knowing that his master loved the chestnut tree like a brother. "Sirzex, tell him to come in, have a drink of whiskey." "Lucas, yes, my lord," sad to see his master. He went to look for Miss Sona, and after several minutes she arrived. "Lucas, the master will receive you in his office. If you can accompany me, I will take you to the office." Sona and Lucas-sama. The two of them left. When they arrived, Lucas knocked again. Talk, talk, talk. Surgery pass. "Lucas, yes, Miss Sona is here." Sirzex, let Lucas come in. Lucas Issei. Passing sound Citri. Sona, good night, Mouse Sirzex. Sirzex, Sona, you don't have to be as formal as always. We've known each other for a long time. Just tell me, Sirzex. Sona, okay, Sirzex and I-sama. Sirzex, well, it was an urgent matter, Sona. Sona, the thing is that Goddess Isabella or Trihexa wants to make an alliance with us. Sirzex, surprised what? Sona, yes, as I heard. I was also surprised when Issei-kun told me. Sirzex, I see. After the impression that Trihexa wants to form an alliance. And I want to know the reason why she formed an alliance with us. Sona, unfortunately not, and he said to let him know when the meeting is going to be and to do it as soon as possible, he said. Sirzex, I see, thinking. Sona, if you'll excuse me, I'll leave, Sirzex. Sirzex, yes, Sona, it was a pleasure to have you visit, and I'll give you the date of the meeting so you can tell Isabella-sama and Issei. Sona, yes, thus closing, leaving the mouth, thinking. Sirzex, what is Isabella-sama planning? Meanwhile, we see Issei and Isabella finished eating, washed the dishes. Issei prepared their lunch for school, while his lady Isabella bathed. After going to bathe, when finished, they brushed their teeth and went to their mistress's room. After combing their lady's hair, when finished, she went to sleep. The next day, we can see an Issei waking up, going out to exercise. He went to clean the house, take a bath, and prepare a small snack of a plate of confetti and a juice. He went to the room to wake her up so she could get ready for school while he prepares his things in his backpack and hers. After finishing breakfast, they headed to school, attracting attention when a Rolls-Royce Phantom arrived. Issei, my master doesn't think it's time for me to make peace with Mary-sama and Office-sama. Isabella, you know something. I think you're right, because if we don't have their power, I think we would lose. Issei, yes, Isabella-sama, when do you want me to call Mary-sama and Office-sama? Isabella, tonight she is preparing a dinner to welcome them. Issei, don't worry, when school is over I'll send the dinner invitations and a circle for you to take home. It will be a delicacy served with the best ingredients and the most delicious preparation, along with a favorite dessert. Isabella, drooling knowing that she will have her plate when she leaves the trance, says Yees. Issei, smiling, I hope for a good resolution to your conversation with Mary-sama and Office-sama. Isabella is excited. Issei, by the way, I'll call Sona Citri from the meeting during the break. Isabella, yes, and what is lunch? Issei's favorite bento. Everything had happened with the arrival of Issei and Isabella. The class went on normally until recess time. We see Issei and Isabella eating their bento. After finishing, they talked for a while about things. Isabella, Issei, can I ask you something? Issei, yes, ask me. Does he love me? Isabella, how is it that humans live such an ordinary life without worrying about the paranormal and all that? Issei, pos, it's simple, my lady. Most people don't believe it's real, they assume it doesn't exist. Most people don't seek to get involved in that subject, they live their lives. Sometimes their lives are so difficult that they don't have time for those things. Isabella, how is it that there are many good people and also bad ones? Issei, pos is simple, the life of most people seeks to have a life and get along is basic for each person, but there are things where people are bad due to circumstances or by decision in search of a goal, or born with evil. Isabella, if there is, why don't you do something? Issei, for a simple reason, there are not enough people to fight them, and there are not only those problems, the accidents that occur, climate changes or corruption are issues that have always existed like the other races, but on a larger scale since we are not so many that there is not enough for all the people. Isabella, I see. Issei, you already sent the invitations for Mary in office. Issei, yes, in fact, a few minutes ago I sent a message to a relative. By the way, I have to call Sona about the meeting. Meanwhile, at university, we see Sona and Tsubaki having lunch and talking. Tsubaki, it sounds good. How did the meeting with Mao Surzex go? Sona, good. In fact, I was thinking of letting Issei know. Suddenly he hears his cell phone ringtone when he sees who the number is, and it was Issei's. Tsubaki, who is? Sona de Issei Hyodo. Sona takes the cell phone and listens. Issei, hello Miss Sona. Sona, la Issei Hyodo. Issei, how is your day? Sounds good. Issei, I wanted to ask you what happened regarding the meeting topic. Sona, I spoke with Mao Surzex, and he told me that when he had the date he would tell me, along with the place. Issei, it's good to hear that. Thank you for your time. If you'll excuse me, I'm leaving now because classes are about to start. It was a pleasure talking to you, and I look forward to the date and place of the meeting. Goodbye, Miss Sona Citri. Sona, adios Issei Hyodo. Chapter 7, Talk of Goddesses. We see Issei preparing food for the meeting with Gran Red in office. Isabella, Issei, what are you preparing for dinner with a large network in office? Issei, I prepare beef tenderloin with whiskey and spices and a pudding for dessert. Isabella, when she heard the word pudding she was very happy since it was her second favorite dessert. He passed by and everything was ready. Suddenly, a red-haired woman with a body like Rias came out of a dimensional gap, and Office came out of a circle. Office, hello Isabella, angry, and you too him, big network. Elohim, hello Isabella, angrily, and hello Office too. Isabella, hello both of you. I see you're still angry because I beat you, mocking tone. Office angrily, shut up. Elohim, come on, it was just luck. Isabella, how much does the score go from 1000 to 0? Office / Elohim, not true. Isabella, in all the times we have fought, they have defeated me. Office / Elohim, angry, looks like you want a fight. Isabella, whenever you want, the result will never change. The girls were about to fight, but suddenly they all felt a blow and said, Office / Isabella / Elohim also. Issei, I remind you that I'm not calling you to fight, Miss Isabella. Besides, the food is ready and then I'll talk about the issue with Miss Office and Miss Elohim. Isabella, yes, rubbing her head. Issei, Mrs. Office and Elohim, this is not the time for a fight. Office / Elohim, Si, rubbing himself because of the pain of the bump. Issei, by the way, the food has already been served on the table. The three of them were directed to see. They were surprised and drooled at how the whiskey beef tenderloin looked. When they saw it, they left it. I hope they enjoy it. I prepared it with such spices and covered it with a delicious sauce. On the side, some vegetables, and as a drink, a jug of hibiscus, and as a dessert, a pudding. Issei, enjoy, my mistress and Miss Ophis and Elohim. Ophis/Elohim/Isabella Issei. The three of them finished eating and went to the living room to talk. Ophis first, thank you for the invitation to dinner. Elohim, like Ophis, I think the same, thanks to such an exquisite dinner. Isabella, you're welcome, it's always a pleasure, but I think you have to thank my servant Issei. Ophis/Elohim, gracias Issei. Issei, you're welcome, it's a pleasure. I look forward to your next visit so you can enjoy such delicious food. Isabella, Syria, as I said, I wanted to talk about some topics, but the first is that father of all goes with his 4 guards. Elohim, how can this happen? According to what we did last time, that seal would never come close. Isabella, I thought the same thing, but the one who was sealed also had my power, but since I didn't have complete power, my part of the seal broke and the others couldn't do it anymore. Ophis, how much time do we have? Isabella, 2 years old, but her 4 guardians are 8 months old. We have to kill them or seal them, because if father were not there, everything would be lost. In addition, we need to collaborate with all the factions. Ophis/Elohim, yes, by the way, how powerful is Issei? Isabella, almost as powerful as me. Ophis, Elohim, you must be kidding. Isabella, I'm not joking. In fact, with her power she would defeat them, but with difficulty. Elohim, you could say the second strongest. Ophis, another dragon god and also the first male dragon god. Elohim, interesting, with a touch of lust. Isabella, yes, but it's mine. Ophis, how envious, with a pout. Elohim, and they already did it, mischievous tone. Isabella, sigh. Ophis, how is he in bed? Isabella, he's quite a stud. Ophis, would you share it with me? Isabella, no pout. Elohim, how envious. Isabella, yes, he's mine. Besides, sad tone, he still doesn't want more women because of what happened with the Gremory. Happy, but every time I see that he's recovering his emotions. Ophis, yes, I knew it through Vala, the boys' girls did it. Elohim, I see, but would you let us help you heal his heart even if you don't believe it? Since I saw the brown-haired boy, my heart beat very fast. Then, when I saw him fight, I felt something in my heart, and I knew after a month that it was love. Happy. Ophis, I also feel the same. Since I saw him before you, I fell in love, and every time I saw him, and when he rescued Lilith I fell in love, and seeing him made me happy. And could you give me a chance? Crying, I want to heal his heart, and love him for eternity. Isabella, yes, Happy, I always knew that they had feelings for Issei, but I had to find out what they felt, but I realized that they feel love for Issei, so yes, I will share with you and help me get Issei back sooner. Ophis/Elohim Si. Elsewhere. Guardian 1, how much longer? Boring tone. Guardian 2, almost there. Guardian 3, who would have said those 3 would get so far away? Guardian 4, yes, but we're already close. Guardian 2, yes, we will soon get revenge. Guardian 3, if before the master comes. Guardian 1, but remember that we must not kill them. Guardian 4, if the master wants them alive. Guardian 1, if you want them to see how they destroy everything. Guardian 2, yes, it will be beautiful. Chapter 8, Meeting of Factions and Preparations for War. 2 weeks had passed since the dinner with Ophis and Elohim. In that time nothing interesting happened other than Issei's training, which consisted of Issei carrying 1,000 tons every day, something that the first day Issei couldn't even get up until he could after 6 hours. His routine consisted of 10,000 push-ups, 10,000 squats, 10,000 sit-ups, running for 3 hours, and then combat with Isabella and Ophis, something that he always lost, and magic with Elohim. Issei was walking through the hallways and was stopped by Saji. Issei, hola señorito Saji. Saji, hola Issei. I told you that I owe you a visit. Saji, Sona wants to talk to you. Issei, it's okay, I can follow you, Saji. So off Saji left, followed by Issei, to the student council office. Talk. Gold passin? Saji, hola Kaicho, Traja Issei as Pidio. Issei hello Miss Sona Citri, what is your business in calling me? Sona Issei has already confirmed to me about the meeting. It will be in 4 days. The meeting will be in the underworld. The agreed time will be 12 p.m. Issei, this is magnificent news. I will inform my mistress tonight, Miss Ophis and Gran Red. If only for that matter, I will leave. Sona Syria, everything was a pleasure to have you here with us, Issei. Issei, it was also a pleasure for me to visit you, Miss Sona and her entourage. Thus the 4 days passed, the meeting arrived. Everyone was gathered, gods, demons, angels, fallen angels, yokais, etc. Shiva, they took a long time to arrive, I asked. Odin, I don't think Issei is with them. Zeus, if the boy is a real butler, he will do his duty to his mistress. Thor and Sirius is as strong as Trihexa. Odin say. Chapter 9, Factions Meeting and Information. The door opened, and they were all shocked. They could see Ophis, Isabella, a girl they didn't know, and Issei. Issei, it's a pleasure to see you again, faction leaders and gods. Isabella, it's a pleasure to see you again, faction leaders and gods. Ophis, it's a pleasure to see you again, faction leaders and gods. Elohim, it's a pleasure to see you again, faction leaders and gods. Everyone, it's a pleasure to see you again too. They wondered who the girl was who accompanied Issei, Ophis, and Isabella. Odin Issei. Issei, sure, Odin-sama. Odin, who is the girl accompanying them? Issei, sorry, this is the first time you've seen us like this. Elohim, could you introduce yourself? Elohim Si. Elohim, hello, my name is Elohim Red, also known to you as the Great Red. Everyone was shocked to learn that she was a great red dragon goddess. All that. Azazel, what a surprise to know that the most powerful dragons are women, and very beautiful. Zeus, yes. Issei, leaving that surprise aside, let's get to what we were talking about, faction leaders and gods. Everyone nods. Issei, what my love, with their respective goddesses and gods and faction leaders wants to make an alliance with certain conditions and talk about some important issues that deserve everyone's attention. Sirzex, what conditions would those be? Issei, first don't attack her, otherwise she and I will destroy you. Odin, okay. Zeus, what would the other conditions be? Issei, never give orders to her or me, I will stay with her until the end. Miguel, okay. Shiva, what would be the other conditions? Issei, the last one, live in peace. Odin, okay. Shiva, what would be the topic that was so important? Issei, and is not theme of conversation with Ama, Ophis-sama, Elohim-sama. Isabella, where to start? The end of everything is near. Everyone was shocked to learn. Sirzex, why? Ophis, it's simple, the god of everything comes to erase everything. Shiva, what god would that be? Odin, who was supposed to be just a myth. Azazel, what is that god? Everyone didn't know. Elohim, let me tell you something. Before everything there was an almighty being with the power. After time he created some heralds of his power. When seeing them he created more beings like the three of us. We saw how he created very beautiful worlds, then the whole sky, everything and the galaxies. But one day he saw how his world and everything flourished, but once something that changed a species attacked the king of everything, he began to erase each one with pain. After that it continued, but he did not erase this one, he left until the end before he erased it or did something. Me and my dragon goddess sisters along with some heralds fought to stop him, but we could not, since a group that was very faithful to the god of all was falling each one. But before everything many heralds and dragon gods sacrificed themselves to be able to stop him. That's why everyone was shocked to learn about that. Zeus, yes, that's because now the world and everyone are in danger. Isabella, yes, simple rise of him. Everyone was shocked to know who the cause was. Odin, how could he do that? Isabella, it's simple, we gave power to the seal of the barrier, but after Or of God and etc., rise of him stole a large part of my power. By not having it, we couldn't continue giving it and it broke. Now it's broken and most likely he'll come and want to erase us all and start over. Odin, there's nothing we can do to prevent it. Office if. Seraphalke. Isabella fight, but first they will have to train and reach the level of a medium or high god. Elohim, we will train them to arrive, but during that time they must not fight because the heralds are coming. We, along with Issei and Shiva, will face them. Shiva, how, but I couldn't fight them. Office for that, you and Issei will train to reach a greater power. In your case, Shiva will be able to fight Isabella and Issei to surpass the three of us. Isabella, everyone understood. Oh yes. Odin before the universe was. Isabella, it was full of life. There were colossal beings with the power of us or less, but also not many powerful ones. There were many dragons, gods and heralds, but through time they died for something until we saw what happened and what god of everything and so much of the universe arose for us, or the very god of everything. This is the first that God made, then other universes followed, and so many there was no more tranquility, but something arose and a race called the sun attacked, and so began the destruction. God wanted to save them, but seeing how bad their thinking was, he destroyed them and entered into conflict, and some time later he made a decision to erase everything. Chapter 10 Revelations to the World. It had been 2 days. In that time each faction started the training, also looking for each possessor of a blood gear or power. In the course it happened that all the factions joined. The one that had the greatest surprise and impact was the human one, since knowing each human of supernatural, there were many ways to take from the supernatural terror, surprise, astonishment when gathering each faction where they would transmit what was going to happen. They decided to plan what to do and call each being to fight with a special power and train them, and more was that they would reveal more power that humanity had in very secret areas, making known experiments of weapons capable of killing gods. Equipment to fight each god except the dragon gods. Such was the impact that they thought humanity was to be feared, capable of eliminating them with only their intelligence. Flax back. Well, why did they call us all? Said the Russian leader. US leader, for some reason, the lives of the whole world could be in danger if we don't work with them. Egyptian leader, what a serious thing, and with whom? United States leader, do you believe in the supernatural? Leader of Epipto, no, what are you trying to say? Leader of the United States, finally there are answers, and if the beliefs were right, if it exists. A few months ago, the leader of the underworld contacted me for a meeting. Korean leader, you must be joking, right? Leader of the United States, unfortunately not, and not only that, every mythology of every country is real, seriously. China's leader, what is this threat capable of uniting all countries and all mythologies? United States leader, I don't know who this threat is, but when they arrive, they'll tell us. Magic circles appeared in the empty seats in front of them, leaving every world leader shocked and terrified. Xerxes, good morning, leaders of the world. My name is Xerxes, leader of the underworld. Miguel, good morning, leaders of the world. My name is Miguel, leader of heaven. Azazel, good morning, leaders of the world. My name is Azazel, leader of the fallen angels. Odin, good morning, leaders of the world. My name is Odin, the god Asgard. Zeus, good morning, leaders of the world. My name is Zeus, god of Olympus. Etc. Buddha, good morning, leaders of the world. My name is Buddha, Hindu god. Ophis, good morning, leaders of the world. My name is the goddess of infinite dragons. Great Network, good morning, leaders of the world. My name is Great Network, the dragon goddess of dreams. Trihexa, good morning, world leaders. My name is Trihexa, the dragon goddess of the apocalypse. Next to her is Trihexa's butler. All the presidents of each country were terrified and surprised by such a revelation, with only the leader of the United States returning to speak. Leader of the United States, good morning, faction leaders and gods. It's a pleasure to have you with us. Chinese leader, let's go to what this meeting involves. Xerxes, yes, as you know, we invited him to this meeting for the purpose of a topic, preparation for war to fight against the being. In short, it could affect all of us, but I'll give him a word to the dragon goddesses. So telling everything from the beginning, how it was, how each being is in danger. United States leader, so what should we do? What would be the best thing for us? Miguel, look for every power and person with magical power or power that they have that can help us. Egyptian leader, in fact, we have several things that involve weapons with the potential of gods created in secret, equipment capable of killing every being, from what I see, also gods from here, and a lot of information about all humans. The faction leaders were surprised that they had talked about everything, arming layers of killing. Almost everyone was afraid of human power. United States leader, I see you are surprised. We already had information about every being on your world. We developed technology to destroy them if they tried to destroy every living being on the planet. Azazel, as I see, Father was always right. They are the most interesting and feared for him, according to what he knows. Miguel, yes, Father was always interested in humans, who were capable of every day having the power to kill gods or more. Thus they spoke, thus they developed, all training, and each person with power or authority was sought. 6 months had already passed. In that time there were 2 more to face, for heralds, god of all had progressed.
Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.